Here's good news. I have no idea what's going to happen with Diddy tomorrow. I am listening to these two guests as closely as any of you. I don't know if he's going to get a bunch of years. His judge doesn't seem to love him. Okay. Now, he's going to be sentenced tomorrow for the 2 counts, right? What were they again? Roll up so I can see. Transporting women across state lines, Mann Act, for the purpose of prostitution. Combs was acquitted of the 3 more serious charges. Remember the racketeering, the RICO? Remember how we were here saying, I'd never seen any RICO where it's just one guy like this. Prosecutors want him locked up for more than a decade. Diddy's defense has asked for a little bit over a year, including the time served already, which would mean he would be just about ready to get out. So the strategy has been remind who Diddy is on the positive side. Dozens of letters, including from his family, former girlfriends, employees, even fellow inmates, to whom he's teaching a business class. Quotes are common, such as, Mr. Combs teaches us about how chasing easy money is the wrong way to achieve greatness. Mr. Combs has affected me in a good way and has impacted me because I've learned many things, like how to create a successful plan. He's given me something to look forward to, and I'm currently studying a new business venture, so when I'm released, I can move forward. Now, of course, the judge could say, great, you'll do a lot of good while you're on the inside for the next 5 years. There are also letters asking the judge to throw the book at Combs. His ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, wrote, his first actions will be swift retribution towards me and others who spoke up. I remain very much afraid of what he's capable of and the malice he undoubtedly harbors toward me for having the bravery to tell the truth. Combs himself wrote his own plea. I take full responsibility and accountability, he wrote, for my past wrongs. The old me died in jail and a new version of me was reborn. What do we think is going to happen? 2 much better minds. Criminal trial attorney Sara Azari. Civil rights attorney Areva Martin. All right, Sara, I start with you. Areva, great to have you as well. I don't have a clue. What do you think and why, Sara?
What do I think is that the prosecution couldn't get him with the serious charges at trial, so they're making up for it here. And I think, to me, it's very obvious, Chris, they are victimizing people who are not victims. They, much like initially thought that his ex-girlfriend Gina should be a victim and she didn't show up to testify, and she apparently now in a letter is saying, I was never a victim. I didn't consider myself a victim. I was in a consensual relationship, and this was our intimacy. They are also, Chris, turning those male escorts into victims. All along, we've had Cassie and Jane. Now suddenly they're adding 8 more victims of the male escorts. Why? Because when you have 10 or more victims to a crime, you now get grouping, and that's a way to enhance the sentence. It is dirty, it is gamesmanship, and I don't think he should do a day more than what he's done. But I think if he gets 4 or 5 years, that's probably supported and fair.
Wow. Areva, I keep hearing in people's comments about this, but the tape, but the tape, but the tape. You know, what people saw him do to Cassie seems to be the end of the analysis. Now, a judge is a lot more sophisticated, though, right? So how do you think it breaks and why?
Well, I think, Chris, you don't have to be a lawyer to determine what this judge is going to do. You just have to be an observer of people and an observer of the facts in this case. The judge has pretty much signaled what he's going to do. Diddy was in court recently asking for an acquittal, asking for a new trial, asking to be released on bail, which he's been asking since the conviction. And the answer coming back from this judge over and over again is no, no, and still no. The judge continues to make reference to the violence that he heard, the evidence that was presented during this trial, and the judge has made it clear that he's going to pay a price for the violence that he perpetrated against the victims in this case. I don't know what trial Sara was watching when she said there are no victims. There are plenty of victims. And I think we should expect this judge to...
She said they added to the victims. She didn't say there are no victims. She said they added to the victims to enhance.
There are plenty. Thank you for that correction. Let me be clear. There are plenty of victims in this case, and we heard from those victims. And I think the judge is going to do what he's continued to do in this case, which is hold him accountable for his acts.
So here's the thing. They are scouting for victims. The most contested thing in this sentencing hearing is the idea of whether relevant conduct includes the acquitted conduct. So relevant conduct has to be considered by a judge in arriving at a fair sentence. But there was a recent change in the law, Chris, where they said that under the sentencing guidelines, if you're acquitted of an offense, then perhaps that conduct is not relevant. That is the key fight tomorrow, is whether acquitted conduct is relevant conduct. If it is, he's screwed.